Welcome back YouTubers to my channel for an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me and you're just new to my channel, I'm AspieAnswersAll, or as I'm known as Aspie. I'll talk about mental health disorders, which is basically just awareness and understanding of them all. So I was taking you all a journey of my life experiences with the life of psychiatrist syndrome, OCD, depression and the like, so that you can get a clearer understanding of me behind these masks of all these diagnoses. So for the guys, basically I'm also all about bringing out to be a mental advocate, just to share tips and advice or form of encouragement to hopefully give you all a lowdown of what life is like, or just basically hopefully just a little shed of some light that you got for you guys to just hopefully live by and all that. So not further ado, basically this one's basically, if I'm reading right from what I'm writing, is part 1 episode 3 or what have you. Yeah, we'll make it that, which is basically testing for adults, because obviously I'm doing ADD in adults and children here as a collection of series for you all, so that you can use these as resource tools, so therefore that we know that we can go step by step sort of thing, and it should be easy to follow and whatnot. So without further ado, guys, basically what's happening here is, like, as we know that many people may misconceive or misunderstand that ADD is not just for kids, it's for adults also. So hence why I'm today addressing this, to get you all to gain a clearer understanding to what life is all about. So this is basically method 3 of it, which is testing for adults, basically in the part 2 range of episode 3, which will make it, and hopefully you'll enjoy. And if you see if any of the signs and symptoms that I may address in any of these topics, be it ADD, ADHD and the like, seek second opinion or professional support, so that you guys can have the better treatment. I don't wish to condone anyone to do self-harm, however. So let's begin. Okay, number 1, make an appointment with the psychiatrist or doctor. As we know, if we have adult ADD, as like I said so many times before, with many diagnoses, they'll roll into different ages and stages in life, to be sure to maybe make an appointment with the doctor or psychiatrist, or even a qualified medical or mental health professional may be able to help provide the actual properties for the diagnosis. Before we begin to actually decide what we're ready to book this appointment, make the list of symptoms. You should also include any problems at work, home, school, regardless where you are in your age and stage of life as an adult, be it a teenager or just right into young adult, into adult form, so that hopefully that we'll know about what's going to entail next of the symptoms that is causing this. Also list some personal information about yourself that may be relevant. For example, any major changes in your life that has occurred that can cause these similar symptoms to ADD. List the medications you're taking, however, so that if we know if there's any sort of form of alarm, to know that if they have been causing similar side effects to ADD, as I'm addressing this. Number 2, answer any questions to your doctor and psychiatrist. Okay, page to ask them. At your appointment, you're likely to be asked a variety of questions about your behaviour and your lifestyle. Just bear in mind of this, so they can get a clear understanding of what's going on, as well as basically not just the understanding of what's going on in your life. They're not being nosy or anything like that. We need to remove that. They need to know what's going on, obviously, in a way, so they can best fit, rule out anything else that's maybe affecting your thought patterns, behaviours and your lifestyle of what's going on. Because this obviously will help the doctor or whoever you're seeing at that time to figure out or roll out whether ADD is the right diagnosis, basically, and it is appropriate at that time. Because as I said so many times before, I can't stress it enough that many diagnoses, be it ADD, ADHD and all the alike of the mental health conditions and disorders, they wrap into not just the one diagnosis, but similar other symptoms and that, which is a sad reality. But that's why a series of tests and recommendations of everything else needs to be brought into place. Anyway, continuing on, as you know, basically with your doctor, they will ask about when problems started, about basically your concentration, lacking of it, or just your becoming sluggish, or whatever other predominances on your mental health. He or she will also ask if these problems has been continual or just on the odd occasion. You know, doctors will also want to know the level of which such problems have affected your health and well-being. Your doctor will also want to take a personal history from you. Okay, they may ask about your childhood, any traumatic experiences you've undergone in the past. You know, these such things can affect your behaviour and change to the nature of your diagnosis. However, your doctor will also want basic information about things like your diet, sleeping habits, stress levels, you know, work, what you do, and that. Okay, number 3 for this is get tested for other medical, you know, and mental health conditions. Okay, certain medical conditions, as I said, basically such as anxiety and depression, can cause symptoms similar to ADD. Your doctor might want to test these for these conditions before ruling out and making the best diagnosis if it is ADD. What tests you will need will depend on your personal medical history. However, the doctor may request basic blood work to rule out any other medical problems. In order to be diagnosed with ADD as an adult, you may need to have shown similar symptoms of this disorder as a child. But if you remember displaying symptoms of ADD when you were younger, such as struggling to concentrate in school, mention this to your doctor. It's always important to be open and honest with the doctor so they can rule out everything. Okay, ask questions. If you're diagnosed with ADD, you will likely to have a lot of questions, however, about your diagnosis. Make sure your doctor will answer them as best and they're suited for the medical jargon, removing it and easy to understand, however. Okay, you can also make sure to ask your doctor about any treatment options, medication, and side effects of the medication that they may be going to give you, and any resources you can know about your condition. But if it was ADD or any other condition, as I said before, you can always self-help yourself, self-teach yourself, self-learn it, and know more about it yourself. Okay, well basically this ends part 3, episode 2, or shall we say part 2, episode 3, I should say, get the number 0, of like the diagnosing in adults, of getting the diagnoses, testing for adults. Give me a like for thumbs up for engagement that you're liking the content or just showing that you're engaging with me. Feel free to share the videos along to family friends that you feel to learn from each other, or whatever the purpose may be for these videos. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'm hoping to do it on the daily, my videos, once everything is running smoothly. So feel free to just, you know, do what you love, what you do, and until next time, I'll see you again soon.